The only thing better than walking on Turner's rugs is walking all over the owner himself. Some quick thoughts on last night's BB24 live feeds, where we seem to have a new Final 3 alliance. But first I want to talk about Turner's game, or lack thereof. I'm still getting comments about Turner's terrible jury management, which is honestly probably true. I don't know if the jury really likes Turner. And we don't know if the jury is going to be voting for people, or if they're going to be voting bitterly, which seems to be the case this season, or if they're going to be voting for game, so that could be bad for Turner. But Turner's game continues to be not good. I mean, he has this connection with Alyssa, and if he was really playing smart, or just really just playing the game, frankly, he would want to keep Alyssa this week over Taylor, because it would better Turner's chances of getting to the end, because he does have that connection with Alyssa. But Monty, and I questioned Monty yesterday about why he is so annoyed with Brittany and Taylor spending a lot of time together when Taylor would need Brittany's vote if Turner's going to vote against Taylor. But Monty seems to maybe have convinced Turner to vote out Alyssa this week, because that has been Turner's game. Just being pushed over to do what other people, and usually other men in this game, want him to do. And we're seeing that possibly again here from Turner. Now the Final 3 alliance has been made between Monty, Turner, and Taylor. This is of course Monty's baby, because Monty would have the best shot of getting to the Final 2 if those three make the Final 3. Because he would think that either one of them winning the final HOH, if he doesn't win, they take him. It's smart on Monty's part. Monty is having a very good end game, arguably the best end game out of anyone right now. Now I'm going to get to Taylor's social game and how she also has a great end game. But I think this alliance, towards the end of end games, you get random new alliances like this one. This really isn't that random, though. I mean, these are three leftovers coming together at the end. Brittany has alienated herself from everyone. I got a couple comments of people feeling sorry for Brittany. I can't feel sorry for Brittany. Brittany has done everything to herself in this game. So people trying to compare her to Taylor at the beginning of this game makes no sense, because nobody still, after leaving the game pre-jury, can give a reason as to why they didn't like Taylor. You just hear from people like the ugly-haired idiot Daniel saying stuff like, well, we listened to Paloma. Well, yeah, you were dumb for listening to the youngest person in the house. They had no good reason to all hate Taylor, and they all know it. But Brittany has consistently played a messy game and consistently has played for second place. So for her to lose her social ties, she 100% did it to herself throughout the game. So no, I will never feel sorry for Brittany. Sorry. Taylor's social game, which has gotten better and better and better once she actually had a chance to play this game socially, she's actually had quite an epic social game, frankly. And the fact that Alyssa did not fall into the middle this week like she could have, not because she's a good player, but because it would have been, Taylor and Brittany have had this connection the whole time. Turner and Monty have had this connection the whole time. So naturally, Alyssa should have been able to fall in the middle this week, but she didn't, mostly because she's not good at the game or even tries to play the game. If she even had an ounce of care to play the game, she could have easily found herself in the middle this week. But instead, Taylor finds herself in the middle this week. Taylor is really great at continuing to be able to maneuver herself to be in a good spot in this game, and I think she deserves credit for that. Socially, she has played one of the better social games in a long while. I enjoyed Oz's social game last year, and I still think Ozza played a great social game, and it almost got Ozza a win, quite frankly. I would put Taylor on that same great social game here, because of the way she has been able to maneuver herself to continue to be safe in this game. People want to say she's just another one that hung on to Michael's coattails. But Michael's out of the game now, and guess who's still in the best spot socially? It's Taylor. Somehow, some way, even the way the cards fell this round with Monty and Turner's connection, Taylor has that connection to Brittany, and yet she still finds herself in a final three with Monty and Turner. Taylor's social game is working, and she's working it very well. Another thing, there was a comment that they should get rid of Taylor this week because she is a threat to win the game and get the votes to win the game. The problem is the bad reads from these players don't see that as the case. Monty and Turner seem to think that Alyssa is the jury threat, something I just don't understand. I guess they think that because she doesn't have a lot of blood on her hands, maybe. But that's actually a big reason why Monty was targeting Alyssa this week anyway. He seems to think Alyssa is a jury threat and have the votes to win. They don't seem to see that on Taylor's side. It's a problem with Brittany's game too, but it could be something that Taylor needs to start using with Brittany. You know, Brittany's always being a terrible ally to Taylor, and Taylor doesn't always catch on to that. But if she would catch on to that more, it would give Taylor a good reason to tell Brittany, hey, you could take me to the end because I would not get the votes to win, since Brittany seems to think Taylor's not this good player either. It's a good tool to use for Taylor to further have a lot of people wanting to take her to the end, possibly. You know, right now Monty is the one that has maneuvered himself to possibly get the final three with Turner and Taylor in hopes that either he wins the final HOH and goes to the end, or one of them win the final HOH and take him to the end. It's smart by Monty. The big problem for Monty is that he's going to be Brittany's main target, and if Brittany wins the next HOH, Monty's going to be her target over Turner because of the way Monty has handled this HOH. A Brittany, Turner, Taylor final three is when Taylor's really going to have to hope that she can convince Brittany to take her to the end if Brittany wins the final HOH, which is very possible. If Brittany makes the final round of the final HOH, she has a huge shot of winning the final HOH. A Brittany and Turner final two, the jury would be very unhappy to have to vote for that, I think. Maybe Brittany would have a slight chance to win in that scenario. I kind of doubt it still. Even though Turner has some enemies in jury as well, I still think despite Turner's game being so poor, he might be able to make a stronger argument than Brittany, but we'll see if we get there, I suppose. As for now, though, the plan is still for Monty to put Taylor on the block, and it seems as though possibly both Brittany and Taylor might be voting Alyssa out. Even if there's a tie, Monty plans on breaking the tie for Alyssa to go because he thinks Alyssa is the bigger jury threat than Taylor, which is a very terrible read.